What's good, everybody? Week 3 already of the NFL season. Saints are 2-0. And if you would have told me that the Saints were sitting at 2-0 with wins over the Panthers and the Cowboys, just a couple months ago, I wouldn't have called you crazy. But if you would have told me that the fashion that those two wins came in, blowouts, then I probably would have looked at you a little suspect. But look, the Saints have looked great, especially on offense. I don't think any of us really expected. I think we expected improvement, right? It's not hard to improve from what the Saints put on the field on offense the last couple of years, but I don't think anybody has expected the level of play that they put out over the first couple of weeks. So hopefully they can keep that going. But big week against the Eagles, big game against the Eagles is coming up week. And look, the Eagles are 1-1 now. They somehow blew the lead, blew the game to the Atlanta Falcons, and giving them our division opponent a win, obviously. So all of a sudden, this is a huge game for the Philadelphia Eagles, sitting at 1-1, and it's a big game for us as well, too, right? We got Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and the Kansas City Chiefs coming up. So really a rough schedule coming up for us. So to start the season 3-0, I mean, that would be huge, right? Like that sets us on a path for. It gives us a little bit of wiggle room for some wonky games down the line, which would be the opposite of what the Saints did last year and losing a bunch of early games that they should have won, and then it ended up costing them in the end when they were this close to the playoffs. So hopefully, let's start the season 3-0, and I want to get into some things from the Eagles defense that I see on tape that I think the Saints can take advantage of because the Atlanta Falcons sure did. Let's jump into it. All right, jumping over here to the film, and look, the Eagles' rush defense is absolutely horrendous. They're giving up 6.4 yards per attempt. That is ranked dead last in the NFL. Now, it's only the first couple weeks, but that is a lot of rush yards per attempt to be giving up, even, to start the season off. Falcons ran for a $150 plus on them, okay, 150 plus rushing yards on them, ran all over them. And the good news is for the Saints, bad news for the Eagles. The Falcons and the Saints run very similar offensive systems. The Falcons OC Zach Robinson came from the Rams and Sean McVay. Of course, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan run very similar systems. And it's all based off of wide zone, right? That's their main running play. That's the Saints' the bread and butter running play. So we're going to look at some of the clips here. And this first one, got our familiar face right here, Mr. Zach Bond. And poor Zach Bond, he was getting his knees blown out almost every play here. And you'll see what I mean. So let me go and press play. And again, this is just simple wide zone to the left. I believe the Falcons in this clip are going to run it. Got the motion to the opposite way. Boom, dragging this guy over. One less defender on that side that we're running it. And yet wide zone to the left, to the weak side. Okay, away from the tight end. Offensive line does a phenomenal job. Right tackle kicking out that end. Got the combo here on the first level. But check out the left guard here. The left guard does a really nice job. And I bet Cesar Ruiz is paying close attention to what's going on here with the left guard, because watch him. He goes, boom, cuts Zach Bond. And then Tyler Algier, I believe that is, has a really nice gain here on this play. And it's funny because you see Zach Bond here get cut. Well, on the very next clip, I'm going to show you same exact run concept. It happens again, right? The same exact thing happens to him. Wide zone to the left. Again, good job on the front front four combos, right or left tackle doing a nice job. And again, watch this guard right here. Okay, Lindstrom, their right guard, is going to absolutely destroy Zach Bond for the second play in a row. Boom, there he goes. And now this time it's Bijan Robinson who has a huge gain. So the Falcons were having success with multiple different running backs, right? It didn't matter who was on the field. The Eagles were getting gashed. I mean, the front level blocks, and we've seen the Saints have success with this play. They've ran all over Carolina, and they bullied Dallas in the trenches with this same exact run concept. So, I mean, good luck to the Eagles stopping it. And I want to point out something else I noticed while watching this Eagles defense against the Falcons. This guy right here, okay, Bryce Huff. They signed him in the offseason to a free agent contract. I know they were expecting him to be a pretty big contributor, and he, still might be, but he got whooped in this game, especially when they ran to his side on wide zone, right? So when you run outside zone, wide zone, the goal is, the first read is to get outside, right? But that very rarely ever happens just because these guys up front are so good at staying in their gaps, staying disciplined to where they need to be. So this thing barely ever hits outside, where it's originally intended to hit, and it always ends up hitting either here in a bubble or, you know, some kind of cutback. But Josh Huff, man, or excuse me, Bryce Huff, he was getting bullied and he was getting reached all day long over here. You'll see what I mean? Let me press play. I mean, this is really bad run fit discipline. So if we look at this thing here, we got this guy has this gap, he has here, Nose has the A, Bond has the B. This guy, Gardner Johnson, is going to come down and play the C gap. And Josh Huff has to keep outside containment, right? He has this outside force, and he just doesn't do a good job, right? Let me play this thing. I mean, right away, he is in the wrong gap. Tight end is able to reach him. They get to the outside. Boom, another strong, explosive run from Bijan Robinson. And Josh Huff, or excuse me, I don't know why I keep calling him Josh Huff, Bryce Huff. Again, just a really poor job over there. So I would, if I were a betting man, which I am, I would expect the Saints to take advantage of that when he's on the field over there on that right side. So just keep that in mind when you're watching this Sunday. Let's see what the next clip is. I think that the next clip is him doing the same exact thing. So again, yeah, same exact run concept, wide zone, outside zone, whatever you want to call it. Here's Huff. Watch what happens at the snap. Boom, right tackle is able to reach him. I mean, that's actually a really nice job from the right tackle. I mean, gets reached, and we can bounce this thing outside. Bond gets caught up by the tight end. And this time it's Algier running the ball. So again, multiple different backs having success. When multiple different backs are having success, what does that tell you? That means you have really bad run defense most of the time. Really nice job from the front side of the offensive line too. They got Carter reached right here. Huff reached. Get up to the linebackers in the second level and the safeties. Yeah, so, and when you run the ball this well on wide zone, what does that set up? Well, let's see. The run play they've gashed them on all night. Play action. Now we have guys wide open all over the field. Got Drake London. Kind of a bad pass here from Kirk Cousins, but we got London over the middle, and we got number 34 here who was wide open for a touchdown, and Kirk just didn't see him. And you know, again, like, watch this. So it looks like, to me, I'm not 100% sure, but 100% sure, but it looks like the Eagles are going to be in some kind of quarters coverage, and it's the Fangio defense, right? Vic Fangio is their defensive coordinator, and when you go 3-by-1 and they're in this quarters look, a lot of times this safety here will be responsible for the number 3 receiver. So in this case, that would end up being this guy if he were to go vertical. So if this guy goes vertical, the safety has to take him. And you can see what this run fake, this play action does to that safety and really everybody. There it is. Boom. He's stepping up. He's looking in the backfield for the running back because, again, they've got gashed all day. Same thing with these guys up here. So this safety comes down. His responsibility, who he's like, uh-oh. See him looking at him now. Uh-oh. Runs right past him. And that was a wide open touchdown. But Kirk threw it to London. Still a nice completion. But nonetheless, this is something that the Saints defense, I know for sure, is looking at on tape, and they're going to take advantage of. So when number 0 is on the field, Josh, I said it again, Josh Huff, Bryce Huff, when Bryce Huff is on the field, run at him. Okay, for sure, run at him, and then take advantage with some of these play action stuffs. I mean, could you imagine if this was like Rashid Shaheed right here or Olave? I mean, that's a touchdown all day long. But yeah, it should be an interesting game. Like I said, huge game for both teams. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.